Hey there, my name is Cindy and welcome back to Snacks and Stacks. We are going to talk about summer reads, and I have a stack of recommendations here and a stack of hopefuls in front of me. Before I get into that, just wanted to share that we got a new dog. Her name is Yukina, and she's super cute. She's about 8 to 9 months old, and yeah, her name is Yuki from the rescue, and we were thinking of ways to kind of personalize it. Maybe we want to make it our own, and so we went with Yukina, who is a character from Yu Yu Hakusho. And Yuki means snow in Japanese, but Yukina is a snow demon. So we're like, you little demon. Anyways, she's super cute. I was trying to lure her in here to record with me, but she's just a little bit kissy today, so we're gonna close the door. So yeah, I have a stack here of books. Some of these are books that take place in the summertime, and then some I think are just nice, light, easy summer reads. And then also you see this big guy down here is if you enjoy reading one book maybe throughout the summer, I think it's a nice one that you can kind of pick up from here and there and still get to put the pieces together. So we'll start with Firekeeper's Daughter by Angelina Boulley. This is a YA mystery thriller. I have talked about this in a wrap-up before, so I will link that below. But yeah, this is a mystery thriller about a high school senior who is going to go to college, and it's the summer before college. And unfortunately, she gets roped into a murder investigation, and she's kind of like the go-between the tribe and the police force. I believe it's the FBI. I'm sorry, I read this a while ago, and I can't quite remember all the details, but I do remember it being in the summertime, and it was pretty fast-paced and interesting, and although it looks pretty thick, I think it was just full of interesting stories and representation of Native American culture. I thought it was a very good read. And we have 3 romances that take place in the summer, and funnily enough, these are all my favorites, so I highly recommend these. We have Emily Henry's Book Lovers. This is rivals to lovers. They're not quite enemies. They basically just started off on the wrong foot, and Nora is a author's agent, and she was trying to get Charlie to become an editor for one of her authors, and he was really rude about it, and he didn't want to do it, and he basically said that it was terrible, and somehow they end up in this small town together on like her vacation, but she still has to work, and they kind of end up working together, and their relationship builds, and it's very, very lovely. And the other thing about the story that is even more lovely is Nora's story, her relationships with her sister and the people around her, and just her like insistence on being herself is also really great and admirable. So I really, really love Book Lovers. Next, we have Mixed Signals by B.K. Borison. This is book 3 in the Love Light Farms series, but you don't really have to read the other ones in order to read this one. It's just if you didn't want to know who the other couples end up with, you know, you will find out in this because they all show up. But Mixed Signals is about Caleb and Layla, and Layla owns the bakery portion on this tree farm, and Caleb is a police officer, I believe, at least in the beginning, or he was one, and he's going to be a teacher. It's not a spoiler, it's not a big plot point. But yeah, he basically has trouble hanging on to girlfriends, and she always seems to date assholes. And so they do this kind of fake dating arrangement where he shows her what good guys could be like, and she tells him where he's going wrong. And they're perfect for each other. They are so sweet, and I love them. And this whole book and I need to reread it this summer, actually. So this might actually go on my other pile. But yeah, I love this book. It is just the sweetest couple. They deserve everything. They deserve the world. And another gush fest. I think maybe books that take place, some summer romances might just be my favorite. Georgie All Along. Georgie All Along is about a girl named Georgie. She goes back to her hometown and she's feeling very lost. She kind of got let go from her job, mostly because her boss, she's like an assistant, and her boss no longer needs her, so it wasn't like she's doing a bad job or anything, but now she feels lost. She's not sure what to do with her life. And her best friend is pregnant, and she has decided to go back home and help her friend unpack and get ready for the baby, as well as, you know, just spend time with her parents. But funnily enough, when she gets there, her parents are on a trip and also let some stranger, like, watch their house for them, forgetting that Georgie was coming. Her parents are definitely a little spacey. And I can't remember if she wanted to spend time with her parents or if she knew her parents were gone. But nevertheless, it's a forced proximity. And this guy, I think either had heard, this is such a bad, sorry, I didn't have time to take notes because of the puppy, so this is me just riffing off my memory. But I think the guy that's staying there isn't a complete stranger. He's like from this town as well, but he had a really bad reputation. And this is such a wonderful story of rebuilding yourself as well as trying to figure out what your purpose is and like what to do. And I absolutely love this book. I can't spoil it because the reason why I love it is kind of a spoiler, but if you've read it and want to know, I can kind of leave it down below. But one of my favorite things about Georgie is that she's not like extraordinary or anything super duper big. And in this book, she's got this checklist of things that she's trying to do to find purpose, and I just love the way the story ends and how it ends. Yeah, it's one of my favorite books ever. So now onto some fantasy stories that I think are light and enjoyable for summer. We have what is this duology called? This duology has a name, but it's not on the books. But it starts with a magic steeped in poison. Look at that cover. And it ends in Venom, Dark and Sweet. A Venom, Dark and Sweet. This is a very quick YA duology. And the magic in this is super refreshing and new. It is about tea and how certain people, when they brew certain types of tea, they have magical powers. The reason why I think this is perfect for summer is because there's a lot of description of food and drinks in here that I think gives like summer vibes. Like, you know, summer is about traveling, vacation, and doing things that you might not always do. So I think that's part of why I think of summer when I think of this. And also the read's very simple and easy. I think that there are high stakes in this fantasy, but it doesn't ever feel like too much, I guess. And yeah, I just remember this being a really easy, fun time reading it. And in the first book, again, I'm riffing, but I'm pretty sure there's a competition. Yeah, this is a competition. They're trying to like save her sister's life. I will say that the duology for me was probably like a 3.5 overall. I think it is good, but it's definitely for either people who really like YA or for younger readers. Speaking of younger readers, let's skip this one real quick. We have A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking by T. Kingfisher. This is a middle grade book, but I think this is done so well. This was a book that I read with my son, and he had the best time. We still reference characters in this book. We still like talk about this book. It's just such a great time. It's about 14-year-old Mona, and she has this magical power of bread and and baking, and this magic is very interesting in that you're infusing your magic into certain substances, and that's what you have. And so some people have magic that goes into fire and such, but hers is with bread. So she's never really thought that magic could do much. And the most she does is she works at a bakery with her aunt, and she's like, the most I can do is like make sure this stuff doesn't get stale faster, or she can make it stale. But it's so creative in the way that she then becomes one of the only people who can save this town. And the creativity into her magic is just so wonderful. I absolutely love this book. I absolutely recommend it. It's fun, it's sweet, and you can really, really, really root for the main character. And of course, I have Assistant to the Villain by Nicole Maehrer. This is just a really fun summer read. You cannot take this book seriously. It is not meant to be taken seriously, I don't think. So sorry if you do take it seriously. It's a really fun time. I sped through this book. I will say that the audiobook is not as great as reading it physically, in my opinion. But I don't know, I just think it's a lot of fun, and Evie is a very fun character. It's about this girl who becomes the assistant to the main villain of this place. It kind of feels like a fairy tale land, but there's no like there's not a lot of specifics. I have started the second book, but I haven't finished it. Hopefully that is a book that I'll get to finish this year. But yeah, I think it's a lot of fun, and the third book is coming out at the end of this year, I believe, so it'll be a good time to start it. My last recommendation is this big old guy. Big old girl, really. The Priory of the Orange Tree. Last summer, I was able to slowly get through this big chunky book, and I did it during the summer because I was like, oh, I should be able to have some free time. I think my friends are like busier in the summer or something. I don't know why I wanted to pick it up. This book is great for reading in segments. It has this glossary in the back in case you miss anything or forget anything. And it's just, you get so immersed in this world. I think as long as you're not reading too many other fantasy books at the same time, there's just so many things that are unique in this that I think even if you read them parts at a time, you can really enjoy it, and it can be your big summer book. I think, we have a lot of students that might not be in school this summer, and you have more time to read a bigger, chunkier book. This could be it. Maybe you have some PTO days you need to take. This could help with that. The main premise of this is there's like the big bad dragon is supposed to be coming, and everyone's kind of waiting for it. And we have a lot of characters. There's a big cast of characters. There's a political marriage in this as well, and there's also like this secret society of, I don't know if they're witches, mages? Mages, that's what they're calling them. There's a sapphic romance in this, and there's other romances too, just like side romances. And yeah, there's a lot of great characters, and it's just like a big, nice standalone. It's a standalone, but there's other books like connected to it. But it is technically one complete story. So if you wanted a big, chunky book to read this summer, this would be it. For the recommendation portion, now we're going to talk about the books that I want to get to this summer. And the first book is Empire of Shadows, and this is by Jacquelyn Benson. So far, I am 100-something pages in, so I'm getting there. I'm buddy reading this with Cassie's Reading Corner, and we're going through about 10 chapters at a time and then talking about it, which is really fun. This was a book that she recommended to me when we were talking about this other book here. I'll put it up here. And we were saying how we really wanted books with like the mummy vibes, but this book wasn't quite hitting it for us. So we're trying this one out. This is a historical fantasy taking place in the 1800s, in the late 1800s, almost 1900s, and we have Ellie, who has gone to college and she loves research and history, and she found something. She found a treasure map, basically, and so she's trying to find the treasure before these other guys that are also after it. And that's all I can really say. So far, it's been a lot of fun. I can definitely get the mummy vibes, and there is supposed to be a romance in this, and it's budding, and the banter has been very nice, and I enjoy it very much so far. I also picked up the next 4 volumes of Magus of the library, from the library, so hopefully I can get to these. If you haven't heard me talk about this book, it's about a kid who wants to become a Kafna, and so far we're kind of just exploring this world and the magic that's in it. So that's that. I've had this book from the library forever. I might actually have to return it soon, but The Deepest Blue by Sarah Beth Durst. This is a Tales of Renthia like side story, so it's a standalone, and it's supposed to take place in like a watery type scenario. It's got islands and oceans, and the Queens of Renthia series is a series I really, really enjoyed. The magic in that is these like fae nature spirits that hate humans because humans suck, and there's a queen that can control them to keep them from destroying the humans. But in that series, there's like a whole thing about how the queens were not like as powerful or something. But I want to see what happens here as well. I know very little about this book. I just know that it's part of that world, and it's got like summer vibes because it's like water. And then we have these 2 books that were on my spring TBR that I haven't gotten to. The Knife of Never Letting Go. I found the edition that I wanted, and oh, that was thunder. And Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Faeries. I swear I'm going to get to this, but I'm probably going to get to this before I get to this because this is more intriguing to me. Then, if I have time this summer, I want to start on this big boy, big girl, big buddy, big book. It is The Day of Fallen Night. It is the prequel to The Priory of the Orange Tree. I want to get to this as soon as possible because I don't want to forget the stuff in the Priory tree. But I don't know. I actually might leave this for fall because I don't know how I'm going to get to all these. I'm nervous. I know it doesn't look like a lot of books, but like my physical reads are always harder to complete. I listen to a lot of books, and lately my work has not been conducive for audiobooks because I've been having to think a lot. But yeah. Anyways, that's it for my video today. I'm sorry if I sounded a little scattered and a little bit forgetful because I didn't have time to make my little notes like I've been really enjoying making because I feel more prepared. But yes, please subscribe if you want to see if I finish any of these hopefuls, and leave down some of your favorite summer books or what you're hoping to read this summer in the comments below. Happy reading, happy snacking, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!